Progress continues on the new Sustainable Living Center at Maharishi University of Management. Solar hot water heating tubes are being installed. Cellulose and cotton insulation application has begun. Plumbing and electrical work continues. Construction of interior walls with concrete and compressed earth blocks is underway. In addition, the first photovoltaic panels are being installed on the roof of the utility cottage.
We're installing the evacuated tubes now. We had just had one by itself to the air, and we had a little probe on it. It was measuring 350 degrees just yesterday. But now these are going in and actively heating water that's flowing from that end to this end. So they start by putting the end cap on. And then the assistant carefully turns it around so as not to break them. If they hit it on the side, it can break. And the Gender's applying the special heat transfer fluid. And once that's on, the next thing he'll do is they'll carefully line it up. There's a little copper tube that he's lining up there, and then all they do is they tighten the end, making sure that if anybody attempts to do this, that you don't tighten it too tight. This is part of the solar thermal. It's different than the photovoltaic. Photovoltaic produces electricity, and this produces hot water. And the hot water can be used for domestic hot water, also for to keep the batteries warm in the generator shed. And what you're standing on here will be radiant floor. It will be supplied by this solar thermal. We've got a test tank, and it's hooked up to this pump, and you can see by the arrows that the hot water comes down into the top of the tank and comes down through it, and then it's pumped by this pump to 2 arrays right now. We found out by doing this that we can actually do all 5 of these with one pump. And the reason that's important is we have to keep our amps down, and this pump takes 4.7 amps. And so if we can get by with one pump, that's a whole heck of a lot, or 2 pumps even, that's a whole heck of a lot better than having 7 of them.
Recently, the MUM Board of Trustees paid a visit to the facility to see the progress being made. Trustee Eric Schwartz was honored for his significant support for the building's construction.
It was actually an article in the local paper talking about this that inspired us. We called up and got David, and he came over and talked to us, said they would have X dollars to get it started or Y dollars to finish it. We thought about it over the weekend, and we just called him up and said we'll do Y dollars. And I think he probably passed out. But just
Y squared dollars.
it was a little more than we had originally thought, but why do it start it if you can just finish it? And it's great to see that it's happening and that it's an inspiration to beginning of many great things here.
We're getting ready for this big event on Thursday where we're going to actually flip the switch, turn this on, and we're going to build the building with solar power from here on out. So that not only will the building be powered, its operation by solar power, by renewables, but it'll also be constructed with solar energy. So we're just in the final stages of hooking all this equipment up. The basic thing here is we take solar energy from the panels that are on the roof, comes in on this pipe here, and the solar panels on the roof change sunlight into electricity with no moving parts and nothing to wear out. It's a really magic process. Comes down here, and then it goes eventually down into the battery. So the solar energy gets stored in the batteries. Then when we need to use the energy, we draw it out of the batteries, back into here. It goes through one of these circuit breakers to this inverter. Now the power that's generated by the solar panels and stored in the batteries is what's called DC or direct current power. That's like the power in your car. So we have DC power, we need AC power, what do? This is called an inverter. This device takes DC power through these big wires from the battery, turns it into AC with a better quality than what you'd get from the utility, And then the AC comes out this side, and then from there on out, it's really just like standard wiring in any house. We'll go over and power that circuit breaker panel, and rather than being powered by coal, oil, and nuclear power like it is now, it'll be powered by clean sunlight.
As a trustee of Maharishi University of Management, I'm also very thrilled that we take the next step in the development of this building, because I know that the future leaders that will really influence education, politics, and society at large are going to be studying and trained in this building and at this university. And for that, we are very fortunate, and I am very proud. So at this time, we'd like to not just ceremonial, we're actually flipping the switch here. We're going off the grid, we're going solar. So Kurt, let's on 1, 2, 3, and I believe I've got this switch.
Top one first.
What's that?
That one first.
Top one first. So I'll go first, Craig, and I'll do this. 3, 2, 1, solar. Okay,
Now,
Kurt.
I will also flip the second switch.
Lights out.